you're an ambitious mama who's determined to be more productive and organised using a planner, but you're struggling to stay consistent and achieve your goals, then you could be suffering from what I call planner burden. If any of that sounds familiar, then keep listening, because in today's episode, I'm going to be sharing how I went from planner burden to planner bliss. Hey there mama, welcome to the YouTube channel Planning with Chloe. I'm your host Chloe, and I'm also the owner and creator behind Keshinomi. And as I said in the intro of the video, if you're an ambitious mama, you're determined to be more productive and organised, you're using a paper planner to achieve your goals, but you're struggling to stay consistent and achieve them, then you could be suffering from what I'm deciding to call planner burden. I was going to call it planner burnout, but I've suffered from burnout and it's not trivial. I was in hospital for several days. So I felt like planner burnout was maybe a bit too dramatic. And for me, it really did feel like a burden when I wasn't staying consistent with my planner habit. Now, if you were beginning to think when I listed those things off that, oh my gosh, she's reading my mind, she's in my head. No, I haven't developed the power to mind read over the interwebs. I was sharing my journey. Now, I'm going to share it briefly. I have shared it before on YouTube, but I'm going to just quickly show you a little bit of my planner journey. So, say hello to my 2018 planner fail. I had real high hopes in this, but I mean, look, there's blank space in December, blank. I ended up coming back into this and using it as a scratch pad, brain dump place, because I didn't want to see all of the blank space. But I was determined. So say hello to my 2019 planner fail. Exactly the same thing. There ended up being loads of blank space in this, and again I ended up using it as a brain dump notepad kind of scenario. But I was determined, like I said, determined, ambitious mama. So say hello to my 2020 planner fail. But to be fair, 2020 kind of was the year that never was, wasn't it? I mean, there was a lot going on in 2020, and at the beginning I was really determined to be more productive and organised, and I'd taken the mistakes that I made with these, which was perfect bound, dated planners are not my jam, and like this massive thing, this is too big. To be fair, I didn't want this size. I wanted the same thing that I'd got in 2018. I wanted it for 2019, but they didn't have any, so I had to go with this. So that was a mistake, but I learned from those mistakes, and I thought, well, you know, let me find something that's maybe slightly smaller than this. Maybe ring bound would be good, so I can take things in and out of it, and definitely undated, because seeing a blank weekly spread is just too soul destroying sometimes. So did a little search on Amazon and discovered the Filofax clipbook, and when I saw this, I literally thought, oh my goodness, this is going to be the perfect planner for me. It ticks all of the boxes. It's a nice compact size. It's got rings. I can clip things in and out. The inserts that it came with were undated. I was like, they've literally designed this with me in mind. It even has these fold out month at a glance and fold out year at a glance inserts, also undated, which I just thought the little fold out thing was so cool. And there's also list inserts and grid paper, line paper, plain paper. Like, it had it all, and I was convinced that this was going to help me to be more productive and organised. And I had such high hopes for 2020. I started mapping out all of my goals and the things I wanted to achieve, and all of the to-do lists and checklists and everything went into this. And well, by March, again, I was struggling to stay consistent. But to be fair, March, we were all just struggling to find toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and how about the the small matter of just, you know, struggling to avoid a nasty bug and stay alive. There was that too. But, you know, 2020 was, we'll just say it was a unique year. And I wasn't going to be defeated by having yet a third planner fail in a row. So, of course, new year, new cover. Say hello to my 2021 kind of planner fail again. Hadn't really learned enough lessons from the mistakes that I'd been making in these ones, and I just ended up using this as a bit of a journal. At the time I was doing an online group coaching program, and as part of that program the participants had to, well, it was optional and I decided to do it, but we had to do a Clifton's strength test. Now, if anyone's done a Clifton strength test, they will know that this isn't some little 2-minute quiz on the internet where it's like just for kicks and, oh, you answered mainly B's, that makes you the hot mess mum. No, Clifton's strength test is 30 minutes of me nearly sweating bullets by the end of it, thinking, when is this going to end? It did end. I did make it through to the end, and when I got the results back, I was floored. Like it didn't make sense. I couldn't understand it. I mean, there was creativity and a thinker. Those I was like, yeah, I already know that. Tell me, like, that's obvious. But my number one strength, it didn't make any sense. My number one strength was achiever. I was just like, what? How can this be? I have a stack of planner fails where I have not been achieving anything I've said that I'm going to do. How can I possibly have the number one strength as achiever? So I couldn't figure out what this disconnect was. Why was my top strength achiever, but I was failing at using a planner? I was failing at being consistent. I was failing at achieving the things that I said I was going to achieve. These were books of broken promises that proved I wasn't an achiever. But I was determined to figure out what the disconnect was. So I started doing a lot of research around human behaviour when it comes to habits and goal setting and productivity, those kind of things. And during that process, I had a lot of aha moments that were brilliant, that really changed things for me. But I also discovered what the disconnect was. I also discovered that actually me being an achiever and failing in my planners and not achieving anything made total sense. And now I think this might ring true for a lot of others out there who are ambitious mamas. I mean, you could be an ambitious dude, an ambitious teen, an ambitious mama, an ambitious woman, but I'm going to use the phrase an ambitious mama. So see if this rings true. You're an ambitious mama, you're determined to be more productive and organised. You have a real sense of wanting to achieve things in your life. Yet planner piece is not happening for you and you can't figure out why. Well, here's what I think is the reason why. This is the realisation that I came to about myself that made the whole thing make total sense. And it was that as an achiever, I was trying to achieve way too much. I had set the standard so high for myself, the bar was impossible. Having that drive to achieve doesn't necessarily mean you have the tools to achieve those things. And that was a big realization for me, and a big learning curve that I then had to go through, where I basically had to try not to achieve so much. And it seems so counterintuitive, like you're determined to be more productive and organized, but why would you then do not a lot? But here's the thing, I'm now on a mission where I want to share this with people who are those achiever types who are driven to want to do more, achieve more, and they set such high standards on themselves that their planners begin to become these things that feel more like a burden because they've got so much that they want to achieve through these. And I want to just encourage women to confidently do less, and have a massive impact. Like, I believe you can confidently not do it all and still make a massive impact with your family, your friendships, your business goals, your life goals, all of it. I think by stripping it back to the bare essentials, not overburdening yourself, which is why I use the phrase planner burden. You're overburdening yourself with all of these achievements that you're striving to go for, and actually you need to strip it back. So, armed with that information, I looked at my planner with fresh eyes of, okay, well, what are the things that I absolutely must do? What are the things that I can strip out? How can I do less? What things should I be doing that are going to make the biggest impact in me feeling that sense of achievement that I'm striving for? And I stripped my planner right back. I also created a bit of a system around not just getting clarity around what should be in my planner, but also getting clarity around having a system in place for actually consistently using my planner, consistently setting things out that I need to do in here and consistently achieving them. And it was all by, so obvious, doing less, trying to not do it all. So I really hope that that's going to help you if you're currently in this place of feeling planner burden. Your planner has gone from being this tool that's meant to help you achieve things, but it's actually left you feeling really defeated because you're not achieving all of the things. I hope that by inviting you to not do it all, to pare it back, to simplify it, I hope that that's going to help you to get back on the planning wagon and start showing up consistently in your planners so that you can also start achieving the things that you want to achieve. And I know as an achiever, you're going to be so tempted to be like, oh, I'm going to add this in because I can totally do that as well. Just question the motives behind that. Do you absolutely have to have all the habit trackers? Do you absolutely have to be doing daily budget plans? Do you absolutely have to be journaling notes from spiritual teachings every day? Look at where you need to be doing things every day. What do you need to be doing every week? What's going to make the biggest impact in your productivity, in your organizational skills? And just do that until you've nailed the habit of showing up consistently in your planner. And the thing is, once I had these systems in place, once I'd got the clarity, and once I figured out the process that was going to help me to show up consistently in my planner, I challenged myself to 100 days. Can I consistently show up in my planner, stay on the planner wagon for 100 days? And I did. And it just came from paring things back. And I'm going to repeat it. It came from confidently doing less to still have an impact, to have a greater impact, if anything. So I want to package this up in some way so I can share it with the world in a way that's going to be the most use, so that you can really utilize it and you can really gain traction and get yourself from planner burden to planner bliss. That's a working title. It may change, but for now I'm rolling with it. It feels good. Planner burden to planner bliss. That's what we're working towards. But as an achiever, I'm also a bit of a perfectionist, and I know that I want it to be all packaged up beautifully in a bow, that I can deliver it to you, and it just be awesomeness in a I don't know. It'd just be this awesome thing. But I know that that's not going to help anyone if I'm like, it's tinkering. If I spend ages tinkering trying to make it perfect. So I thought, actually, what's the number one thing that I can give you guys right now that's going to make the biggest impact? How can I do less and still achieve more? And it was just sitting down and hopefully not waffling too much, but just sitting down and sharing part of my journey, sharing the lessons that I've learnt, sharing the takeaways that I've had and how I've utilised them to help me get back on the planning wagon and to find my planner peace, as it were. And yeah, it was doing less to achieve more, doing less and still have an impact. So I invite you to do a bit of an audit on your planner, have a flick through, look at each section you've got in there, each insert you've got in there, each section on your insert, because some of those inserts, you know, it might be a daily insert with your agenda on it, but there might also be like your top 3 priorities, a to-do list, this is the next step that I must do in my goal today, all of that kind of stuff. Look at all of those different sections on that insert and just evaluate the entire thing and get a sense of where is it feeling like a burden and what things are going to bring you to that state of being serene, peaceful, a sense of joy. What parts of the planner bring you joy and what parts of the planner are absolutely important in order for you to feel that sense of achievement and productivity each day without feeling like you're burdened with should do's and to do's. So if that has helped, which I know it will, I know if you've been drawn to this video, if you're experiencing this sense of overwhelm and burden from having a planner that is becoming a book of broken promises, let's face it, you've made these promises to yourself that you're going to achieve things, and now you've just got a whole bunch of blank weekly spreads and projects that have fallen by the wayside because you haven't had the consistent energy to just keep going at it, then I know that what I've shared today in this video is going to help, and I would love it that, you know, just give it a thumbs up, share it with someone else who you know. This little tip, as simple and as dumb and as obvious as it may seem, when you are in the thick of it, the simple, obvious things are not that obvious. Trust me, I know. So share this, share it with someone, even if it's just telling them, hey, you know, maybe you need to do less today, in a compassionate way, if that's the right thing to do. Like, just use your discernment around that. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now, Mama. Bye.